on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you again. This time, we're going to go over to BICIP and the BICIP staff, and the article is by lexdirects. It says former inmate sues Oklahoma County Jail for alleged abuse, unchecked torture tactics, including playing Baby Shark on loop. Hoo, 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 hoo. Wow. Okay, let's get into it. Anything could be used as a weapon in the wrong hands, and apparently that's even true for the infectious song that kids love to play nonstop. Former inmates are suing Oklahoma County Detention Center officials for alleged torture tactics, which includes playing the annoyingly popular children's song Baby Shark. NBC News reports that the federal civil rights suit describes inhumane punishments like forced stress positions for hours while the song played on loop. Civil rights attorney Cameron Spaulding urges the public to take these allegations seriously rather than getting distracted by the song. Okay, and here's a tweet from Cameron Spaulding, the attorney, on his Twitter. I will link that, as always, to any other information that is available in the article. Alright. And this is the official lawsuit, which I will also link in the description of the video. J. Lee Foreman Jr., Daniel Hedrick, Joseph Mitchell, and John Basco filed on last Tuesday for excessive force and abusive forms of discipline when they were held in Oklahoma County Jail while awaiting trial in 2019. Oklahoma County Sheriff Tammy Johnson III, the jail trust, the Board of County Commissioners are listed as defendants for failing to train and supervise jail officers, even if they had a well-documented history of abuse. The suit claims officers removed Mitchell from his cell late at night and forced him to stand in a stress position for 3 to 4 hours while his hands were cuffed behind his back. These kind of positions can cause loss of circulation and blood clogs, nerve damage, dislocated joints, chronic pain, and potential disability. Okay? And as always, like I said, I will put everything in there. Okay? Mitchell was forced to listen to the song over and over while physically restrained in the attorney's visitation room. The volume of the song was so loud that it was reverberating down the hallways, the court document said. Basco and Hedrick were subject to similar cruel and unusual treatment. Foreman didn't get the psychological torture, but said he was also forced in stress positions, kneed and slammed into a wall. Okay? In October of 2020, former Oklahoma County Detention Center Christian Miles and George Butler and their supervisor were charged with 4 counts of cruelty to prisoners, conspiracy, and corporal punishment to an inmate. According to the court documents, Miles and Butler used these forms of torture to teach them a lesson because they felt that disciplinary action within the detention center was not working in correcting the behavior of the inmates. Their conduct was described as wanton, depraved, and sadistic. Both men resigned during the internal investigation. The fact that those officers were allowed to openly mistreat inmates implies a systematic and deep-seated failure to train and supervise with respect to the most basic aspects of correctional operations and constitutional conditions of confinement, according to the lawsuit. It states that leadership at the jail ignored nearly 20 handwritten complaints about Miles and Butler mistreating inmates. Oklahoma County District Attorney David Patter, who quoted in the lawsuit for saying that a baby shark marathon until those conditions caused undue emotional stress on the inmates who were most likely already suffering. The practice was compared to the use of rock music in enhanced interrogation tactics at Guantanamo Bay. In Florida, officials played Baby Shark nonstop to prevent homeless people from sleeping or setting up encampments in the park. Okay? Although the use of a viral children's song seems humorous, the systematic abuse festering in jails and prisons across the country is no laughing matter. 4 of the victims weren't even convicted of a crime at the time that they were detained, but no one should be subject to torture. That's crazy, bro. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, this is not a new thing. These things have been going on for years and years. First, it was started by the CIA. It says in 2014, just reading from this tweet, this article, how the CIA used music to break detainees was written, and it mentioned that children's songs utilized by the CIA then was the theme song of Barney and Friends. Okay, so that just gives you somewhat of an idea of some of the tactics that they would use and that they still do use, to get information out of inmates and basically mentally subdue them. There's been countless attacks by countless of organizations, noted medical facilities, and esteemed researchers that can actually point to it could be anything as simple as a song that you don't like, or a song that you did particularly like, or whatever the case is, and it can make you go insane if you hear it. Just a general question: how many times have you heard a song on repeat on the radio, and it was like, oh, they playing this like every 3 to 5 minutes, and it really bothered you? But unlike these prisoners, you had the ability and the power to actually turn it off at will. Just imagine you being confined into a place where basically you're basically told when to eat and sleep and work and other things in the first place, and then have to be subjected to this type of torture. It will definitely break some people's minds, or make them have some type of psychosis in the process. But I'm so glad that this was found out, and I'm so glad that somebody is taking a stance on it, and that at least some of the people are being held accountable for their actions. No one should have to be subjected to that, even if they are a criminal, or to be perceived as a criminal. However, the thing that they try to push, which they try to say is true, you are guilty until innocent. However, a lot of people that have had experiences in jail and prison know that that is not typically the case. So, with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching my video, taking the time to figure out and just find out what's going on. I usually typically post stories that are not mainstream in the media, or if it is, certain outlets only post it. For example, just like the lady that was found hanging, the older lady that was found hanging in Annapolis, and no one is talking about it. And I don't understand why it is not no one's talking about this. 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to say that it was a suicide. But being from the Maryland area, I know that where she was found and the area that she was found, that it was not suicide. Okay, all right. You can catch a bus out there and just get lost out there. And this is a true story, and this is a personal story, and this story that I'm about to tell, this example I'm about to give, is basically a side note to this video. So if you care to stick around and listen to that, it's cool. I was coming from work, understandably tired, working a 15-hour shift, and I got on the bus. There is a layover on the bus, but at the time, given the area that I was in, I did not know that it went all the way out to Annapolis. So I rode the bus just to catch a couple of minutes of sleep, or however minutes of sleep, and let it come back around. And the plan was for me to wake up when it got closer to my stop. However, I made the unfortunate mistake of riding it all the way out to Annapolis. And when I discovered that I was out Annapolis, the feeling was very different. I actually had cops stop me with my work uniform on and my ID badge and ask me what was my purpose of being out here. Basically, full well seeing visually that I was an employee and I was coming from work. And I explained to the officers that, I fell asleep on the bus. I'm waiting for the next bus to come. Unfortunately, the next bus didn't come for another 45 minutes, so I sat there on the bus stop. It definitely gave me a feeling of uncertainty, and it definitely gave me a feeling of I'm not supposed to be there. In Annapolis, it is one of the richest counties in Maryland. At the area that I was at, it's right by the Capitol. And it's a lot of well-to-do folk out there, and they could definitely tell that I was not from their community. So the looks and the stares and what is she doing here, just by sitting on the bus stop and being stopped by the police, really gave me a sense of I wasn't supposed to be there, even though this is a free country and I can go wherever the hell I want to. So that's just an example of what I was saying, side note. And if you stuck around for that, thank you so much. But with that being said, as always, I would like you to like, subscribe, and share. And I would also like you to comment down in the comment section, as always, so we can get the conversation going. And with that, you guys, thank you so much again. And I will talk to you in the next video.